regresar, Spanish for to return, because today I am going to the United States after living here in Ecuador for 4 years. And I've been here in Latin America for 11 years now, and every time going back to the United States surprises me. And today we're going to be talking about the cost of living, the fast food, the food in general, the supermarkets, all these different things that make the United States and Ecuador truly unique. And by the end of the video, I am going to say which I prefer, the United States or Ecuador. And I'm pretty sure the answer is going to surprise you. Come for an adventure and a little travel day with me, the Gringo. This is what life in Ecuador looks like for me. Fresh coffee in the morning, birds, not much traffic that you hear, and it's just so incredibly peaceful. But here in Ecuador, you can just enjoy family time. Time with Moses, with the 3 dogs that we have, with Elise, and next to a river and a bridge and a path. So beautiful. Packing for this trip just feels different. Before it was, Ecuador is a place that is, wow. Nice job, Shakira. Before it was a place that, it was just a place to visit, it was a place that we were here, didn't really feel like home. But now it feels like home. And to leave the dogs, to leave Elise, to leave Moses, to leave all of this behind, well, it just feels different. And it makes me wonder, I wonder how this is going to feel going back to the United States this time. Something about landing in the United States just hits you differently. Maybe it's the carpet that's everywhere. Maybe it's the freezing cold temperature in the airport because of all the air conditioning, which just doesn't exist in Ecuador or many other countries. And maybe it's the price of a coffee, which I'm gonna get to in a second. Landing here in the United States, it just feels different. This coffee cost me $9. A bagel, another $12. It is good though. I mean, I'm not joking when I say when you come to the United States, it is expensive. And also, it just looks a lot different. Everything is orderly, everything has a line, and everything, well, you just wait a little bit for, and there's a system for it. Everything has a system. Also, you can flush toilet paper down the toilet. That's nice. And just got upgraded to business class, which is pretty cool. On my way to Milwaukee, we're gonna go to a supermarket now, and I'm gonna share with you the prices of how much it really costs for you to live with food in the United States. And welcome to Milwaukee. One step closer to a supermarket, but man, that first class was awesome. All right, time to find my dad. And how about the gas? Well, here in the United States, gas prices are crazy high, and they differ between different gas stations. In Ecuador, it's the same gas price no matter where you go in all of Ecuador. Here though, you really feel the pinching of the penny, as you would say, because it can get really expensive to fill your tank. So right here, the cheapest place, it's $3.69 per gallon. That's just regular gas, not premium or anything. Premium is gonna be around $5 a gallon right now. And in California, it's about $5 a gallon just for normal gas. And that is where it gets really difficult because you're really thinking about how much is it gonna cost me to get from here to there. There's no public transportation and you have to rent a car or you have to use my parents' car where they have 5 LM bass because I have 4 other sisters, so 5 kids. My dad loves to go fishing for bass, so you've got 5 largemouth bass. So exciting, but so excited to be here. So excited that my dad is paying for gas.
It went up a dime from Friday. Yeah, it was $3.39 on Friday.
It felt so good to shower. Oh, I feel like a new man. Have you done that before? You've taken a long trip and then you're just like, oh, I just need to shower, and then you feel so much better. That's me right now. But I want to share with you just a little bit about the roads and driving and the differences between Ecuador and all of Latin America and here. Here, you pretty much have to go right around the speed limit, and it's in miles per hour. So everywhere else in the world, it's in kilometers, and here it's in miles. And, well, there's a cool SNL skit that I'll leave right below if you want to see it. It's hilarious, comparing to why would we use feet instead of meters? And why do we use Fahrenheit instead of Celsius? And all these things, it's hilarious. But anyways, here we are. This is kind of where I grew up, and it's very quiet. You can hear the birds outside, and I made a video recently about Mexico and Ecuador. And you have that there in Ecuador as well. You can hear the birds outside, you can enjoy the nature. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love Ecuador so much, is because it reminds me of being home. You might not have the smells and all of the foods and all of that you do here in the United States in Ecuador, but you definitely have a lot of the similar things. And look at this big mountain here. To get up this mountain, just like in Ecuador. Just kidding. Here in Wisconsin, we only have hills. And here's a hill right here. But the roads, you have to travel so far in order to get to one place. In Ecuador, you go for a couple of hours and you're in a totally different kind of climate. Here, you travel for a couple of hours and, well, you've just reached the same climate and very similar things all around you. The lakes are beautiful. There's a pond right over here, and there's a lake on this side. There are lots of lakes where I grew up, and honestly, well, I don't know which one I like better, the United States or Ecuador. There's so many similarities, so many differences. Let's keep exploring. And as I drive to the supermarket, I promise I'm gonna get there. The difference here is in driving. Well, you can just put it on automatic. You don't have to shift, and it's automatic shifting and also cruise control, which is super nice on all the highways and things like that. And you can go the exact speed that you want to go, of course, in miles per hour. But I think it's a little different in that way. And, well, almost to the supermarket. And welcome to the supermarket. Finally, you really didn't think I was gonna get here, did you? We are here. This is called Pick and Save. And this is a place where in the Midwest, and especially Wisconsin, you can come here and go and get almost anything that you want. And to me, this is one of the biggest culture shocks when I come back to the United States, is going to the supermarket. Because typically in Latin America, you go to the corner store. And a supermarket is great, you can go there, but in the typical towns of all of Latin America, you go get your fresh bread at the corner store. And it's always there, always fresh, always good. And then you pick up a couple other things too, because they have anything that you pretty much need there, which is basically bread and avocado. But here, you come to the supermarket, you do it maybe once or twice a week, you load up on everything. That's why everyone has to have a big refrigerator here. And to me, the amount of pickles and chips and different sandwich things that they have here is incredible. So let's go inside and I'll show you what I mean. I mean, just take a look around. This is incredible. You have so many mustards right here. And look at all this. This is all like ranch dressings for different salads and things like that. And just the amount of barbecue sauce is crazy. The amount of stuff that you have here to choose from is insane. And what I was talking about before was the pickles. Pretty crazy. The amount of pickles here in the United States is awesome. I just love this. Pickle, 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 pickle. So you've all seen my videos from Ecuador showing how much it costs for $20, how much you can buy. But here, this is what I bought for $28. $28 for a couple of spices, some Reese's that were on sale for like $2.50, and some plastic wrap. I think that's insane to me. Whereas in Ecuador, you can buy a whole bag of fruits and veggies for $5.50. It's just way more expensive here. And I didn't buy any fruits and veggies. It would be cheaper to buy those, but nowhere near as cheap as it is in Ecuador. I mean, look at this sad little bag for $28. But if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll understand that I also love cheaper foods and places to get foods, which is Walmart. Leader in Chile and other places, but here it's Walmart. And I'm going inside because Moses wants Mr. Beast stuff, like the candies from Mr. Beast. So I'm gonna go see if I can find these things, and he sees online on YouTube that you cannot find in Ecuador. You can find some Mr. Beast stuff there, but it's very expensive, and it's only a couple of different kinds of chocolates. That's it. He has so much more, apparently. Moses tells me about this, and we're gonna go inside and see if we can find some stuff. Here we go. Should buy a kayak to bring back to Ecuador. All right, we've got all of our stuff right here. It was about $20 for little 2 bags of stuff, but got a lot of good stuff in here, and I'm pretty excited about it. So, well, here we go. All the things that I can't get in Ecuador, I can just come back here and get here at Walmart for fairly cheap, kind of. But which do I prefer as far as food? Definitely Ecuador. The fresh fruits and veggies and things that you can get and eat so healthy in Ecuador compared to here. I think it costs more to eat healthy here, and it is cheaper to eat fast food here. And I think it should be the other way. You should be discouraged from eating fast food, and you should eat more healthy stuff because it's cheaper. But anyways, jump into the car. Let's keep talking. And I am actually here for work, so that's why I'm all dressed up and looking nice. I'm here for some meetings and things like that, but I do get to enjoy time with my dad and family, and I'm gonna go for a run with my sister, which is super fun. Got to see my other sister and husband. It is awesome to be here. And a lot of them you know, which is cool because they love Ecuador as well. They've all come to Ecuador to visit, and they love it. They would live there if they could, but they don't speak very much or any Spanish, and it's a little difficult. And also, they don't have caribou coffee. They have better coffee. I hope that you're enjoying this video, and if you are, please like, subscribe, and leave me a little comment. We'll see you after my coffee, so I have energy. This is a medium cappuccino. Guess the price. I'll tell you at the end how much this costs. Typical place, not Starbucks. It's a chain, but it's not a huge chain. A medium cappuccino. How much do you think this costs? I can't believe it. There are so many differences that I notice everywhere I go. Like when I'm driving, there's no police with the lights on, and they're not there to pull you over. Their lights are just on. And the police that are hiding in the bushes trying to pull you over because you're speeding, that's existing here. And there are just so many differences. But I think the biggest thing is the typical life here in the United States is you wake up early, you drive really far, get in your car, get some coffee, and I was just at the coffee shop, and at the coffee shop, people are just individual. They might have maybe 2 people talking together, maybe, but usually people are just there with their computer doing some online work, drinking their coffee, online work, good to go. And in Ecuador and Latin America, it's a place to have meetings. It's a place to talk, and it's a lively place and not just a quiet place to work. And I think there are just so many differences, but I think just the style of life where you just have to go, 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 go. And there's always an order to everything here. Even here, I'm trying to get my Dyson, very gringo, vacuum fixed. And you have to sign in and use a QR code. You have to share the serial number. You have to share what's wrong with it and your phone number and all this kind of stuff. Whereas typically at a mechanic or a repair shop in Ecuador, you just give them your WhatsApp number and say, okay, when it's done, it's done. Here, they're going to do it right now, which is incredible. And I think there are so many different similarities and differences between the two countries. We are America, all of us America, but different cultures in each country in Latin America. And honestly, there are a lot of different cultures within the United States as well. You go from the north to the south, and you go from a city to the country. And my life growing up might have been different than yours growing up if you're from the United States. And of course, mine is different because I grew up here in Wisconsin. This is what I grew up with, a parking lot that looks just like this, no security guards, no guns, and making sure that nobody's going to rob the place. And there's no fences. No fences anywhere around here or around any houses. Unless you're in a city place and maybe a different city. Miami has little like urbanizations and conjuntos and things like that. But here, where I grew up, you don't have any of that. And everybody speaks in English, which I don't really like. I mean, I love English, but I love it that Moses gets to grow up with different languages. English, Spanish, and then he learns French next year as well. I think that's really cool. Here you do learn some Spanish, but you don't really use it, so you lose it. And there are just so many fun things to talk about. Let's keep talking. I think my vacuum is actually ready. I honestly just changed shirts in the parking lot because, well, I don't know, weird. But one other difference that I have is that the hours are different between different places that you go to. So there might be an opening at 8:30 at one store, and right next to it there's an opening at 10 a.m. And it's so different in every place you go. And there are so many places that are open all day long, 24 hours, like McDonald's, or a lot of Walmarts and things like that are open all day. And here, I think that's different because in Ecuador, everything opens at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is everything. Here, it's just a little bit different, which is okay. And kind of nice when they open when you want them to be open. But it's kind of nice in Ecuador, honestly, because you know that at 10 a.m., everything's going to open. And you know that the corner store is going to be open when you wake up. That's always open. But a lot of different stores, like other stores, are going to be open at 10 a.m. And here, you just really never know. You have to check your Google Maps. But honestly, there are so many good things about the United States. I love the national parks. I love going fishing with my dad. There's so many lakes around here. I do actually like the food. I got to go to a bar, and bars don't really exist in Latin America, which is for the better. But it was fun to go out with him for half-price appetizers, and we got some fresh homemade mozzarella cheese sticks. They were super good. And I honestly love the United States for so many different reasons. So, let me know what you prefer, the United States or Ecuador. Or if it's not Ecuador, what country do you prefer over where you might live right now, or maybe you prefer where you live right now? What is the best country to live in? If you were to move right now, where would you move to? Leave it in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you. All right, here's one of the other downsides. Pharmacies are super expensive in the United States. Honestly, like I don't know how you can pay so much money to get some basic prescriptions, but because we need a couple of things and it doesn't exist in Latin America, the things that we need, we're gonna go here and spend some money. But pharmacies, huge win in Latin America, and they do pretty much have everything that you need. There's just a couple of things that we prefer. All right, go in here, spend a bunch more money, and I'll be back soon. All right, so it is nighttime right now. There are tornado warnings and thunderstorm warnings and all of this kind of stuff happening right now. And this is a huge difference. Typically in Ecuador, you might have a thunderstorm, but there's no tornado warnings that go out. And apparently there was a tornado that just touched down not very far away from here. That just does not happen. There are tons of trees down and things like that. And driving is a little bit sketchy. You have winter weather that you hear about all the time in the news, but you also have this that happens. And look, there's some flashing lights coming on right here. That was some crazy driving. There's a lot of trees down, and it's honestly not very safe to drive when there are tornado warnings and things like that, but we had to go a small distance, and we got there on the back roads and things like that, even though some of them were actually closed. But the weather here is so different. There are seasons here, whereas in Ecuador, there's not really a season besides rainy and dry. And here there's the winter, fall, spring, and summer. And here we're in spring, and you never know the weather that's going to happen. Honestly, it's kind of crazy that we have tornado warnings going on right now. And that's just a part of living here in the Midwest. In Wisconsin, there are tornado warnings and big storms that can come through here. But anyways, I think I'm ready to go. And we'll see how the night goes. There are more tornado warnings coming through the area, and well, I hope that we're okay tomorrow morning. We'll see you then. Woo, that was a crazy night. I can't believe we made it through no problem besides a ton of flooding. One tornado landed about 10 miles from our house, but nothing happened with us. Gracias a Dios. But we are now here in Tennessee. So I was just in Wisconsin where I grew up. Now I'm on a mountain bike adventure and I cannot wait. I've got my bike right here, got my brother-in-law, and we are going on trails and I cannot wait because we can't just compare Wisconsin to all of Ecuador. We got to explore the United States, right? Let's go for an adventure. Here we are on the trails right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. How beautiful is this? I mean, come on, look at this. Woo, woo, whoa, boy. Look, got a new shirt. I'm also in Georgia right now instead of Tennessee. And wow, the United States has so many beautiful places to ride, to hike, to be in nature. There's waterfalls around here, and just look how green it is with all these trees that are just blossoming. And oh my goodness, it is so beautiful. Also, I keep looking for different bears. There aren't too many bears in Latin America. There are some small bears and things like that, and people go to see them, but honestly here, they're everywhere. There's the bears. We saw an owl yesterday, which was really beautiful, just sitting right there in the tree, swooped down right before me and tried to get a little mouse, I think, and it was just so cool to see. And different birds and all this cool stuff, deer that are everywhere around us here in Georgia, Tennessee, Wisconsin, and I think that's a beautiful part of being here in the United States. It's so diverse. You can go here and you can go to a city in just a few minutes and you can be in nature as long as you want to for free. These trails are free, and my goodness, I wish I could pay them because they're just beautiful trails. All right, whew, I'm about to die. All right, so just finished a lunch dinner meal, and wow, what a difference that is between eating in Ecuador and eating here. You have the corner stores, first of all, that you go and get your groceries at in Ecuador. You have the fresh bread and things like that. You have the actual supermarkets as well. We've talked about all of that, but the food and eating out and the way that you tip here is way different than in Ecuador. In Ecuador, you don't really tip. Here, you tip, and you tip a lot. So 20% minimum and sometimes 25% tip. And you usually tip even for a coffee and things like that, which is great, good, but very different than what you get in Ecuador. Also, the streets, I can just have my camera out or a cell phone out. Nobody's gonna steal it from me. And it's really beautiful and warm here. And if you were to go north to Wisconsin, it's really wet and rainy and cold. So what a cool thing that you can go in a car for a few hours and get to this shorts and short sleeves weather, and then you can drive and go to colder weather north. The United States is massive, and you can go east and west, and from New York to Los Angeles is going to be like a 6-hour plane ride. So you can imagine how long that would take going in a car. But we're off to another place right now. Let's go see how the beers are here. So, we're at a brewery right now. There are tons of breweries all around the United States, and especially in towns like this in Chattanooga, Tennessee. You have the live music going on right behind me. You have the games, like they're called bags, where you throw a bag literally into a hole. You can call it cornhole too. And it's just a cool experience here, where in Ecuador you don't necessarily have this kind of experience. You do, and there are breweries, there are bars and things like that. But here it's very common. You can go all around the United States and find something just like this. The cost for a beer is kind of expensive, but at the same time, you're paying for the experience. You're paying to be here and go to this park area, have kids play, and then also you have the live music. You don't pay for any of this stuff. Like the mountain biking, you don't pay for using the trails. You're able to use them for free in most places. Maybe you pay a couple of dollars, but in Ecuador, you pay $10 for using the trails. And you can be there all day, and it's all well-groomed and taken care of and all of that kind of stuff, which is great. But here, it's awesome because you can just jump on so many different trails for free anywhere you go to. Might pay for parking like $5, but that's about it. So, cheers, my friends. Subscribe, like, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Gringo y Latino. Cheers. So what do you think? United States or Ecuador? Which is better? Where would you live? Where would you go for a vacation? Would you come here or not? For me, I think it's absolutely beautiful to come back. And I was thinking about the work life and just how go it is here in the United States compared to Ecuador. But honestly, being here in the park on a Saturday was not something that I was expecting. I thought that everybody would just be busy and you're not here with your family, but you are. There are kids playing American football. I mean, it's just a beautiful place to be, and there are so many parks. And in Latin America, all over the place, you're gonna do that as well. Maybe not with an American football, but you're gonna definitely do that with a football, like a real football, a soccer ball. And I think it's just so beautiful to be back here in the United States where I grew up, where I spent 30 years of my life almost here, and now Latin America, 11 years. And I definitely know Latin America, and I understand that family is everything. And sometimes you just have to take a break and relax and just be with your family. And that's a cool thing about Latin America. And I just enjoy that so much. But here as well, I was able to spend time with my dad, with my brother-in-law. We were able to take time off of work and just be together. And I think that that's something truly special about the United States, that when you take time off of work, you go to a bar, you go to a park, you go on a vacation together, and that's awesome. But in Ecuador, you do very similar things. You're with your family, you're in a park, you're getting good food together, and I think that's just something super cool. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you leave a comment below of where you might want to spend your hard-earned money or where you might want to live. We have chosen Ecuador. We bought a house there. We love Ecuador, but we also love the United States, and it's a fun and beautiful place to come and visit. You can walk around, you can see just this beautiful background with beautiful infrastructure everywhere you go. You can travel all over, really far away, and see different things like the Grand Canyon, all these national parks that are all throughout the United States. And what a beautiful thing to be able to do that. And I feel very fortunate and blessed to be able to live in so many different places. And honestly, I just love them all. And coming back here to the United States really surprised me because I didn't know if I was going to like it coming back after all these years and making a video comparing to a place that I really like. And I also loved Chile when I lived there for 7 years. And then coming back here to the United States, I thought, oh, there's no way that it's going to beat those places. But maybe I just am so positive and enjoy so many different things and experiences and find the good in everything that maybe I'm finding the good in the United States and Ecuador. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I know the cost of living is very expensive here, but it comes with the free parks and it comes with the mountain biking that I was able to do today. And it's just an awesome place to live, especially if you're able to make it work financially. What a cool place. And let me know where you think you would live. United States, Ecuador, or wherever you're from. I'm interested to know. And the thing that I bought earlier in the video, hopefully it's in this video. I remember buying something and it was $7. I think it was a cup of coffee, $7. And that's what I've paid here too, $7 for any cup of coffee wherever I go. And I think that's just a normal thing. $7 for a cup of coffee. Usually it's about $1.50 for a cup of coffee in Ecuador. So the prices are insanely high here. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit a thumbs up, subscribe, like, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok, Gringo y Latino. And for now, ciao, pescado.